Today, I'm here to show you a variety of decks for the upcoming Set 3 meta. Let's not waste time and start with red. Red is one of the colors that stays relatively the same after Aquatic Invaders, but it did receive some things. Ritual Fire is a nice removal card that hits 4k bodies. This can catch a lot of people off guard in the early game because they're so used to playing around Burning Force and its 3k threshold. The other interesting removal card that Red received is Apollo Dinos. This has the effect at level 2 if it has the Soul Core when it attacks, destroy all of your opponent's spirits with BP equal to Apollo Dinos's. So, with the help of your canyons and scorched battlefields, you can hit stuff ranging anywhere from 5k to 8k or even 9k BP. It's not going to hit really big spirits, unfortunately, but if your opponent isn't careful, this can pick off things turn after turn. Otherwise, this is a pretty standard Zigworm deck. You've got your spirits to go aggro early and get draws off of Scorched Battlefield, while your late game is covered by your Zigworm Nova. A lot of topping Zigworm lists at the Pro Tour last weekend elected to cut Big Bane energy, which I get why. You don't want to brick on this card until Nova is ready to go. But I still like it, thus I've put a single copy of it in here. Again, pretty standard, red isn't changing much this format. Purple has gotten really interesting this set, and it's thanks to this card, Viper Dragon. This makes your early game curse spirits like Dragonaga, like Boatrictor, and like Shaznake into really annoying pests for your opponent, especially if you have Rotting Swamp live. For the late game, we're still playing the Baculus Curse Dragon combo, and we have Meduk. Meduk with Viper Dragon gets really disgusting, because Meduk is also a serpent. So, you put a bunch of cores on her, and have her attack a big exhausted guy, another reason to play Thorn Prison, by the way, and just win if your opponent doesn't have Dream Bomb or Ice Shield. While I think green will be the best deck, purple is still going to be very scary. Yellow, recent Pro Tour champion Fabled Beasts, is still here to do annoying yellow things. The only new card here from set 3 is Genbu, but boy is it good. Making your Hippocampos and Dual Eagles unblockable, practically, is something the opponent will dread seeing. Otherwise, nothing has changed here. You still live and die on seeing your Nexuses. Freestall is still an annoying early game spirit, and Alice is still living in my head rent-free from not teching core drains one too many times. White received a few cards to play with these next few months. You can also go for a version that mixes red, but for the sake of the video, I'm showing a more pure version of the deck that's going all in on the Machine Beast stuff. Sheriff Eagle is an interesting new spirit that can't be destroyed in battle when it blocks, which combos really nicely with Suppression and Infinity Shield. I still don't like that it dies to Curse, but that's what Blizaster Eagle is for. And D-Rift is here to get your Elk or Enterprise out early. You may notice that we aren't playing Frost Tiger. I originally had it in here, but I decided that I'd rather just play more of Derm Dyna instead. Feel free to add Frost Tiger in if you're more attached to the card. If you're interested in War Crimes and testing your luck against Floodstream, try White Aggro. It received a nice new spirit in Valkyrie Hilder that's essentially just extra copies of Valkyrie Mist. And now for the color I'm most excited for, green. Of the non-blue colors, green definitely went through the most changes here. The Nexus Hurricane Highlands allows for green to ramp an insane amount of cores just for summoning Tokiwa, Jaeger, and Fenwan. By the way, in case you didn't know, this is your reminder that you have to summon Tokiwa at level 2 to get the Highlands effect, because it's only starting at level 2 that Tokiwa has Gale. Anyway, Fenwan is an insane boss spirit that will force your opponents to Ice Shield at 3 life instead of 2, thanks to its level 3 burning effect. And even its level 2 effect to bounce a guy in order to refresh itself is really good. This is probably the first Void Lord that will warrant purple to want to play Manaka. We're also playing some off-color stuff in here like Beldegor, since we're playing so many 4-5 cost spirits. Namangard, because since we're ramping so much, why not play one of the best cards in the game? Strong Draw and Star Blessed Draw are here to help us get to our Nexus faster. It also feels good to discard Beldegor off of Strong Draw. A lot of people are already calling this the best deck of the format. Time will tell, but I'm inclined to agree. And finally, the new kid on the block, blue. You can definitely go harder on the mill aspect than I have here, but I've decided to include the Sea Face spirits for a control element. Sabito is a good early game spirit as long as you open up with a Nexus, which is why we're playing a total of 9 Nexuses. And Allegro is just insane once your opponent has 10 cards in the trash. Mandala is the finisher of the deck, and we're playing 11 total Crush Spirits to facilitate its level 2 effect. As for the Nexuses, we're playing a variety. Lighthouse and Enchained Arena are the no-brainers. They're just good cards to annoy the opponent with. I like Honorable Duel. The refreshing effect can come up if you have Lyrica out. Ancient Colosseum is just another milling card against decks that play a lot of wind summon effects. And of course, Floodstream is a really good card that blue just gets to play for cheap. And that's a deck for every single color. No other decks need to be shown off. That's all that needs to... Fine, let's talk about Smag. To be fair, Smag decks were kind of already a thing. In my opinion, they weren't very good, but they were out there. But then we got the lore set, which gave us Emperor K. And then the second Pro Tour happened, and not one, but 2 Smag decks made it to top 16. I changed some ratios to fit in a couple of flood streams, but otherwise, this is that Pro Tour list. This is a value deck. You use Worker Ant-Man and Smag to ramp. Smag discounts everything, so you have the excuse to just play all of the best cards, like Namangard and Beldegor. And K lets you get a bunch of stuff back to help you in the late game. I know it looks like just a pile of cards, but somehow it works. Whether or not that'll translate to success in set 3 meta, I leave for you all to prove. But I have to admit, it's kind of fun. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more Battle Spirit Saga content. Until next time, laters.